Unhealthy lifestyles are largely due to cost. Young people don't have access to healthy food, transport, or club membership because of the cost, and the less healthy the lifestyle, the bigger the cost to the NHS. As Mayor, how would you increase accessibility to healthy lifestyles?
Oh, it's a really, really crucial question. I think young people's sport is massively important. I'm kind of huge believer that we need to do more to make sport more available, reduce the cost of it for young people. Young people's travel, I mean, we may come on to this, but you may know that at the last election, mayoral election, I promised to introduce free bus travel for 16 to 18-year-olds in Greater Manchester. So that didn't exist before I became mayor. Now, I know you're at an age where you're not quite ready to take advantage of that yet. But if I'm re-elected, I will be keeping the R-Pass. And that will be there then for every, because I think it's that age at 16 to 18 where people really face barriers when it comes to financial support. And they may make choices in terms of where they go to study, which college they go to based on money rather than what they want to do in their life. So the R-Pass is massively important to me. And the key with the R-Pass is it's the free bus travel, but it's also free opportunities that come with it. And the opportunity side of it, I'm not sure we ever communicated well enough, and we need to sort of have another go at that. It's about free entry to places, to gyms. We had our leisure centres offer free entry to our pass holders, and I want to look at that again, see if we can expand that offer. I think we need to do better when it comes to support for after school activity, and that's something that I'm interested in pushing as well. It's a big issue for me. I want all of you to have all of the opportunities that Greater Manchester offers, and the R-Pass is my kind of way I'm trying to deliver that. And so I'm committing now that it would be, if I'm re-elected, the R-Pass will be in place for the whole period that I'm re-elected, and that will in the end reach you because you'll be 16 by the time that before the next mayoral election comes.
This touches on to one of my really big passions for Greater Manchester, which is around transport and how we access and get around our city region, but also how we get to leave it as well. And that's around empowering active travel, so walking and cycling. And there's so many impacts on that for a healthy lifestyle, not just because it's the person themselves who's walking or on a bike, who's exercising and getting those positive benefits, but that actual modal shift away from being reliant on cars and all the pollution that comes with that just puts us into a slightly healthier lifestyle to start off with. If we're not breathing in horrible amounts of pollution, we're a little bit closer to being healthy. So one of the great visions I've got for Greater Manchester is that we would have an ability to take our bikes and cycle up to the bus in the same way that you do across Europe, pop the bus on the back of the bike, you go in through the side door, get off at the other end where you want to go and cycle. Obviously you can do that with walking, but that opens up our green spaces really significantly, and particularly to young people who wouldn't be able to, who can't get to some of those places because they can't drive there, they can't put the bike on the back, that's too far to cycle, so they're not being able to go and do something like that. And that deals with the sort of second or third part of your question about the cost of those sorts of, being able to be active. I would imagine, I know my son who's 14 would love to be able to do that, get on the bus at the end of the road, go to an outdoor place with his cousin or his friends, and go and have a really good cycle rather than going up and down the canal near us. And I think that's a really important thing, but it also opens up outside of the city. So I've got friends who would love to go and do, there's apparently a beautiful cycle, you can get the train outside of Greater Manchester, and then you cycle back in, and it's lovely hillside views, countryside, the sort of thing that actually all should be accessible to all of our young people and all of our residents. They're a family of 5. You can only put 4 bikes on a train at one time. So they can't take all of them to go on that sort of day trip. And that to me is madness. We've got some of the most beautiful countryside in the country just on our doorsteps. If we can enable people to get out there easily to go for walks, to go hiking, to go and climb the hills, to, you know, get people at Kinder Scout and get people out into the Peak District, but they can get there on their own. That's going to be really important. So yeah, those two things sort of join up for me and fit in with that overall transport idea of being able to cycle up to the tram, get on, go off out to the hills and go off on your bike.
It's important to know that you've got your local councils that should be providing local leisure services. The mayor can guide and ask and suggest planning issues and, you know, build this leisure centre here. Can you as councils provide this? What more money do you need for this? But leisure services are run by your local council, and that's not a cop-out. It's knowing how the mayor's office needs to be used. So I would probably advocate an access fund that councils can tap into. So you've got people from low income backgrounds that can actually access leisure services at a reduced cost or zero cost. And then the councils can then actually go to the combined authority and say, all right, we've had this many people access on their reduced rate or free rate. Can you please reimburse us? And that's something that I think the mayor could possibly do, which would probably aid access to leisure facilities, especially council-run leisure facilities. Where we build them, that's the next topic. They should be on your doorstep. You shouldn't have to travel, 10 miles down the road to get to a swimming pool. They should be on your doorstep. If we really want people to become healthier and fitter, to have a better outlook in life, we should be providing things for them on their doorstep. And I go back to the community hub mentality of, you've got all of these professionals, they can actually guide the council, they can guide the mayor's office, say, actually, we need this in our community, we need this here, we need this here.